Hey, welcome back to the channel. How's it going? It's Tony again from Master of the 80s. We're going to have a look at some more cartoon goodness today. This one's a little bit different for me. We are moving sort of time periods now, so instead of 70s and 80s stuff that I would normally look at, maybe very, very early 90s stuff, this is a mid to late 90s show. Unusual for me to sort of be into anything like this, or at the time be aware of anything like this, because I was at that age where I really didn't give a fuck. Mid 90s, 93, 94, I'm getting to 15, 16 year old. I've pretty much stopped watching children's TV. There was a couple of bits that I probably would have watched on it at this time period, but there wasn't much. I was sort of into the early evening sort of schedule, especially with Channel 4 kind of stuff. So you sort of like your Fresh Prince of Bel-Airs, your Hollyoaks of the time, shows like that were being heard in the UK, Desmond's, things like that. That was more my cup of tea. And I wasn't really watching CITV or children's BBC, after school stuff. I was pretty much done with it at that point. But then this show popped up, and this show was it was the Tales of the Cryptkeeper. Yeah, this was a spin-off show from Tales of the Crypt. Horror cartoons aimed for children, which was a really cool concept, a really good idea. This ran in sort of, I think at the same time as the EC Comics did. I mean, this artwork here is definitely from the EC Comics line, and I think some of the stories were generated from that comic line as well. Again, I'm not the biggest comic book fan. I may be completely wrong, but I'm sure that reading somewhere down the lines that this coincided at the same time as what the EC Comic stuff did. Excuse me. So these releases, again, there is no sort of UK release of this. No one's ever picked it up. When this aired on CITV, 1993 was the first season, which is here. Again, I don't know why nobody in the UK has decided to pick this up and run with it. I would imagine it would have sold quite well, but a German company called Pidax released these, and what Pidax do is brilliant. They give these DVD the treatment. They aren't overly expensive. They're really easy to import in the country. When the pound is quite strong against the euro, you can get these for good money. Shipping from Germany normally takes sort of 7 to 10 days to get in here. There is no import tax on it. They're a really, really good company to look at. So if you're a collector that wants to collect this kind of stuff and you can't find UK editions of it, or the US edition is way too expensive, have a look what Pidax are doing on their website. They have done really good editions of Silverhawks, other shows that they've done, Super Mario Brothers Super Show, they did a really good edition of that. They did Captain M the Games Master, they did a really nice box set of that. They do some fantastic work, and this is up there with some of the best stuff that they did. So this is series 1, this is 1993. I love this show. This was a great show. This, again, it piqued my interest. Pidax has done a really good job on this. There's the artwork to the front, there's the out to the back. Don't be put off that it's all in German, because the audio on the disc is in English. Again, they've cleaned these up really well. These are in the 4:3 format though, which, you know what I mean, that doesn't bother me. I expect it to be in that kind of format on this kind of stuff. There's the insides. Again, there is a reverse cover. The only difference on the reverse is it's took that European age certificate off it, because if you think the British BBFC certificate on a release is bad, the European stuff is even worse. It's massive big green squares on everything. So these were based around, obviously, the Crypt Keeper. He was telling stories that had a ending that was similar to what you would see in a He-Man show or Bravestar or something like that, where the story evolved around something, and then at the end of that story there was a moral reason to not to do something or to do something, and each show was exactly the same. It was the same premise, and again it kept within the horror style and aimed the horror stories to a younger audience, to an audience that were obviously watching cartoons after school. So that was series 1. Series 2 is pretty much of the same. Artwork on that again is fantastic. Again, I think these are probably lifted from the comic book of the time. There's the bag. I think these are 13 episodes each, if I remember rightly. And again, this one, same basic principle. Cryptkeeper, telling stories about things happening. I think it was a fictional town or a fictional city called Gravesville, was it called? Gravestown, Gravesville, something along those lines. But again, 1994, so it was exactly the year after. They rolled on again, really good. Only problem is when series 3 rolls in. Series 3 was a lot later, was 1999, so there's a big gap between series 1, series 2, so 93 and 94, and then this came out in 99. This was not aired in the UK, this was not picked up for children's TV in the UK. I think at the time when this came out, because it was a Canadian company that did these, I think it was only shown in Canada. And then I think it may have been later picked up in the US. I'm not 100% sure, but I definitely know it started off life in Canada. Again, we didn't pick it up in the UK. There's a big flaw with season 3, and it's the animation style. It's pretty poor. It isn't good at all. If you've seen shows like Back to the Future, the animated versions of Back to the Future, it's got that sort of style to it, and I was never overly keen on that. The storylines are okay. It alters a little bit in the way it sort of like explains things, the way the Cryptkeeper does things. It eventually got itself cancelled because I don't think it did too well. And again, it's the animation style. It just doesn't sort of seem to work. It's a shame, really, you know what I mean, because the other 2 seasons were really good, but this was a complete set that PIDAX put out, so they incorporated season 3, and you can tell just ever so slightly, just off the screenshots of the back, that it's gone that weird lazy wave animation, that the way cartoons went into the mid-late 90s and the early 2000s, it just seems a little bit lazy. And I've never seen the show. I've still not watched this all the way through. But again, it's really nice that PIDAX decided to put all 3 out. Whether these are still available on PIDAX's site, no, I'm not 100% sure. It may now be out of print. If it is out of print and it is not up on PIDAX's site, they're available on eBay. If you're going to get them on eBay, you're going to pay more, obviously, because they're out of print now. At the time when I picked these up, I think they were €36 for the 3, including postage. So at the time, that was probably £9 each, I think, which is a bargain, really. But again, a great little show, that not a lot of people talk about, that not a lot of people remember. And again, first season, second season for me, I was all in. Third season, obviously, we never got over here, so this really is the first time that I sort of got to see what it was like. And again, I've not watched all of it. It's not that good, but it's a nice one to add to the collection. It's fun. It's definitely worth a look if you've never seen it before. And if it's something that you would like to add to your collection, have a look on eBay. If Pidax is not got this on their site anymore, it may be out of print now. I'm not 100% sure. But thank you for watching. Again, we've got more cartoon stuff coming up all the time. Again, I'm sat on loads of it, and I've been a bit lazy over the last few months going through the cartoon stuff. Predominantly, this was a cartoon channel, and then I got sidetracked by doing loads of other different things. But I will get round to doing more. I know you guys like watching the cartoon stuff. They always do well for me, these kind of videos. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Take care. I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.